Well, okay guys, day 2, and what can I say other than, well, I feel kind of validated because the last 2 videos I posted, admittedly one was me doing something weird with a potted jelly in order to test the 50 FPS capability of my camera, and the other being the mental health video posted yesterday. I've lost 2 subscribers. So yeah, that's 1 per video. So great, post a video about weird stuff with jelly, lose a subscriber. Post a video with genuine human emotions, lose a subscriber. If I keep this up, my plan to kill off this channel should be completed by the end of this week. Anyway, yes, basically woke up today and the depression was not as bad as it could have been. Usually, I'll wake up in the morning and the first thing to hit me is a wave of depression. After that blissful moment where you've woken up and yet you don't realise that you're alive yet. And then you do, and you actually accept that you still exist, and it's, oh hey, here comes the depression. like a very heavy elephant to the face. I genuinely don't know what's going on in my brain with that one. But no, like I say, usually I'll wake up depressed. I will wake up depressed, and it usually takes a few hours, 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll be functional again. I mean, obviously I still do things while I'm feeling like that, breakfast, because it's my job here to cook the breakfasts, actually getting up and the ablutions therein, but it's still there. And when it comes to it, it's one of the hardest things to explain, as with most people with depression, because it can feel different for different people. For some people it's just a sense of absence, like there's nothing there, like they're a void in their own life. Some it's a crushing sadness, a sense of loneliness, literally wanting to not exist anymore. That actually does seem to be a common theme among depression, is that you don't want to die, but you just don't want to ever have existed, which is actually very different to suicidal depression. See, the problem there is that if you mention that you wish you didn't exist, everyone thinks, oh, they're suicidal, they're gonna take their own life. No, not gonna happen. Stop worrying about that. For me, depression isn't so much the loneliness, because I grew up with my own company. I'm perfectly happy with my own company. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy spending time with friends a lot of the time, but I don't need it to exist. I suppose that's being introverted, really. That's how I'm able to handle it. I am an introvert. That's something I'll have to cover another time as well, because introverted isn't what people seem to think it is. Anyway, different topic today. For me, the depression, a lot of it goes along the lines of... Actually, a lot of it is the void for me. I feel like there is nothing to me. Yes, I make these videos, I do reaction episodes on my other channel, but I still feel hollow. At least in the mornings, I feel hollow. Like I say, usually a couple of hours in, and I've normalised and everything's okay. It's probably some sort of a chemical imbalance up here, and the problem there is that I am one of the lucky few people for whom antidepressants don't work. And believe me, I've tried my fair share. Sertraline looked like it was going to work for a while, but then a few weeks in, I ended up in serotonin toxicity and maybe nearly died, and so kind of knocked that on the head. But other than that, there doesn't seem to be any antidepressant that actually has any effect for me. I know there is a big debate going on about this, about how, oh, you shouldn't be needing antidepressants, don't take antidepressants. Well, no, to be fair, if they work for you, take them. If they make you feel better, if they make you feel functional, and that's another distinction I want to make, they make you feel functional. Feeling functional and just becoming something that works, very different. You can be functional without feeling functional. It's the feeling functional that you need. But yeah, if they make that happen for you, go for it. If anyone says, oh, but it's a crutch, well, yeah, break your leg and then try and walk without a crutch. Crutches are useful things. So yeah, that's my input on that debate. If they work for you, congratulations, happy for you. But for me, they don't work so well. Obviously, in my case, with the morning depression, there is the same sort of sadness and, admittedly, a degree of loneliness, although, like I say, I generally live with that. But it's when it goes beyond just the morning situation, because I have periods where I can be deep deep in depression for months at a time. And at those times, well, it ain't just feeling hollow. It's almost literally like I'm being crushed under the weight of existence. It's at times like that that I wish I never existed. And the worst part of it is at times like that, I'm convinced that everyone else wishes that I'd never existed as well. Because I just feel useless and pathetic and a mess and like a burden on everybody I know. And I know everyone says, oh, you're not a burden, you've got us here for you. But the problem with depression is that it doesn't feel like that. There is a difference between loneliness and alone, and when you're that deep in depression, you feel alone all the time. Even when you've got people you care about and who care about you right in the room with you. In my case, I'm lucky in that it'll eventually pass. I will eventually go back to feeling functional in and of myself again. You know, except for the mornings where I almost always wake up with a similar thing. But depression for a lot of people is that feeling worthless. Feeling like they've got no contribution to make to existence. Feeling alone, feeling crushingly sad. And for a lot of people that's literally all the time for years. If I think about it, I have got a degree of that all the time, even when I'm happy and joking. In fact, especially when I'm happy and joking, because I'm putting the brave face on. I don't want anyone to know I'm feeling like that. I don't want anyone else to feel like that. So I'm doing what I can to make sure it doesn't spread. But for the most part, mine is manageable. Yeah, okay, I'm a complete mess and incapable of surviving in a normal workplace environment, but hey, I can get up most days and get breakfast. What I will say though is that even though it's not really worked for me, if you do feel like this, go to your doctor. Go to a therapist if you can afford a private one. Don't think that seeking help for this makes you weak. It does not. Hiding it so that people will think you're a strong person, that's the wrong route to go down. Because there's no point in people thinking you're strong if 6 months down the line, you're a quivering mess on the floor, curled up in the fetal position crying. So yeah, go to your doctor. If they suggest antidepressant, give it a try. If they suggest going to therapy, give that a try. If they suggest going for a walk every now and then, give that a try. Because anything like that could work for you. You know what? I suppose I should talk about how I deal with it, because I've spoken about everything it is, and yet I haven't mentioned how I actually cope. What a clever person. Well, for me, there's the standards, you know, occasionally I'll go out with friends, though that's not a particularly common thing. I've got a brony meet that I go to, because shock horror, I'm a brony. As if you hadn't guessed, and I really do enjoy going to that. That is one of the saving graces of my existence, really, that I get to go there and hang out with everyone. But in the between times, there is occasionally gaming, which I still do get time to do from time to time, though, yeah, not as much as I'd like, but that's because I've taken on working for myself doing these videos, which fills up pretty much all my time. Yeah, that's an interesting thing, you know. If you actually got a full-time job, you think, oh, I can't wait for the weekend, I'll have a couple of days off. And when you're working for yourself doing stuff like this, you end up thinking, oh, if I really, really work hard, I might get a Saturday evening off this month. But that's an irrelevant story for a never time. But no, other than the gaming, which I'm not very good at, I don't do that much online. And I certainly hate when I leave my phone right next to the sodding camera and microphone while I'm trying to record. Though I do like me a good RPG. Though that's probably just escapism, which is related to the depression. See? Full circle! Got there in the end. Other than that, I do make metal sculptures. I make all sorts of things out of steel scrap and reclaimed metal. That is my main hobby outside of this sort of thing. And I'll stick a few pictures of what I do on the screen. I'll try and stick one just sort of there. And yeah, I'm actually quite proud of that one. That one took me quite a while to do. And yeah, then there's oh, hang on, I need to move over a bit more for this one, it's a big one. There's this one, which is a very similar style, but also very, very proud of. But it's things like that I do as well. I want to start making videos of making that sort of thing, and even some practical things. One of the things I want to do is a weighted camera thingy so you can put your camera on. It's weighted below, so it's steady cam something. I don't know what the technical terms are. Steady cam handy thing. Yeah, steady cam handy thing. That's what I'm going to make at some point and record for your viewing pleasure if you care about that sort of thing. But one of the main things that saves me from my depression is my pets, because I have pet rats and a pet chinchilla, and it doesn't matter how bad I feel. All I gotta do is scoop up one of the rats and give her a snuggle, and I will feel better. It may only be temporary, but it's a reprieve. And that's really what it comes down to as well. Right, okay. Do not disturb. There we go. But yeah, whatever it takes, as long as it's safe and at least mostly legal, like as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, including yourself, whatever it takes to make yourself feel better, even if it's just temporarily, is great. And by that, I don't mean go and load yourself up with cocaine, because that is going to do you harm. I mean, snuggle a pet, go and play darts, play video games, juggle something. Whatever can give you a reprieve from the depression, go for it. And if anyone says, oh, you look stupid doing that, well, f*** them. Who cares what they think? Especially if they're someone you're never going to see again. And if they are someone you are going to see again, who is going to talk about you like that, maybe you shouldn't see them again. Anyway, like I say, I guarantee I've missed so much that I wanted to say, because I can't work from a script when it's something like this. So if I have missed anything, my editor will stick it in his annotations at the top of the screen. Yeah, I should tell you now that my editor can be a little bit harsh on me at times. We generally don't get on well. I hate him. He's not particularly a fan of me, can be a little bit rough on me at times, and all of that wouldn't quite be so bad if we weren't the same person. Yeah. Anyway, other than that, if you've got any questions, please do feel free to stick them down in the comments, and I will answer them if I am capable of doing so, because I want to be candid about this. Well, if you've managed to sit through this, thank you very much. See you again next time.